ॐ भद्रं कर्णेभिः शृणुयाम देवाः भद्रं पश्येमाक्षभिर्यजत्राः स्थिरैरङ्गैस्तुष्टुवागुंसस्तनूभिः व्यशेम देवहितं यदायुः स्वस्ति न इन्द्रो वृद्धश्रवाः स्वस्ति नः पूषा विश्ववेदाः स्वस्ति नस्तार्क्ष्यो अरिष्टनेमिः स्वस्ति नो बृहस्पतिर्दधातु। ॐ शान्ति शान्ति शान्ति। ॐ सदाशिवसमारम्भां शङ्कराचार्यमध्यमाम् अस्मदाचार्यपर्यन्तां वन्दे गुरुपरम्पराम्। श्रुतिस्मृतिपुराणानाम् आलयं करुणालयं नमामि भगवत्पादं शङ्करं लोकशङ्करं। शङ्करं शङ्कराचार्यं केशवं बादरायणं सूत्रभाष्यकृतौ वन्दे भगवन्तौ पुनः पुनः। समस्तजनकल्याणे निरतं करुणामयं नमामि चिन्मयं देवं सद्गुरुं ब्रह्मविद्वरम्। हरि ओम, salutations to all. 11th mantra, we saw about the Arani Manthan. We will chant that mantra again. Atmanamaranim kritva pranavam chottaranim ज्ञाननिर्मथनाभ्यासात् पाशं दहति पंडितः. So you should make the correction. The last word in the first line is pranavam cha uttararanim. Aranim, it has to be the big E. The small E is a mistake. Change it. Aranim. Yes. In that, the ni, if it is small, you have to make it big. It has to be a big E. Uttararanim. Uttararanim, not uttararanim. The chanting will be pranavam chottaranim. So we saw the state of the Jivan Mukta, the realized person, the Yati who has realized the self. What will the person experience? We saw in mantra 9 and 10. Now this mantra 11. This is for reflection and contemplation once again. What does it say? Atmanam aranim kritva. See, the word Atma here means the equipment. Atma here does not mean the self. Literal meaning of the word Atma is I. Whatever we feel is I is called Atma. But today the sense of I-ness is in the perishable, which is why we are bound. The real I is that imperishable self. That imperishable self, which is Omkar, reflecting in the BMI, appears as this small I, Mr. So-and-so, perceiver, feeler, thinker. So today for us, I is this. But really it is this. So the word Atma means I. Now here when it is said Atmanam Aranim Kritva, the word Atma here indicates this body, mind, intellect identification. So this BMI is indicated by the word Atma. Because today we think I am this BMI. So I have the Jiva Bhav. So the lower Arani is the BMI or Jiva, whatever you call it, both are fine. Atmanam Aranim Kritva Pranavam cha Uttara Aranim. And Omkar is the top Arani. This is the traditional process of creating fire. Lower Arani, upper Arani, in between the wooden block, one will churn. Then the sparks come. Now, before I proceed with this analogy, you will see the demonstration of that. You can play the video. The traditional way, even today in lot of rituals, the fire is created by this Arani Manthan.
அக்னி வரவழைக்கிறார். அக்னி அக்னி பாருமா பாரு பாரு சரி நீ பாருமா அப்புறம் தெரியும் பாரு. हरे राम 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 हरे 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 कृष्ण 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 हरे 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 राम 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 हरे 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 कृष्ण 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 हरे 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 राम 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 हरे 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 कृष्ण 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 हरे 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 राम 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 हरे 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 कृष्ण 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 हरे 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 राम 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 हरे 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 कृष्ण 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 हरे 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 राम राम हरे 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 कृष्ण 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 हरे 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 राम 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 हरे 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 कृष्ण 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 हरे 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 राम राम हरे 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 कृष्ण 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 हरे 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 राम हरे 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 कृष्ण 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 हरे 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 राम राम हरे हरे कृष्ण 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 हरे 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 राम राम हरे 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 कृष्ण 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 हरे 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 राम राम हरे 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 कृष्ण 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 हरे 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 राम राम हरे राम हरे कृष्ण 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 हरे राम प्रमादम 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 अम्मा धन्योस्मि
ராம சீதனுக்கு கட்ட இதுவா
பாருங்க
பெங்களூர்ல லேட் ஆயிடுச்சு. ஆமா ஏமாமா பெங்களூர்ல லேட் ஆயிடுச்சு. அது அரவிந்த் பிரம்மச்சாரி அக்னி வச்சிருக்காங்க கையில சந்தியாவந்தனம் பண்ணிட்டு சீக்கிரம் வந்துட்டாங்க.
ஆமா ஃபேன் ஃபேன் அது பாரு அக்னி இது பண்ணதுக்காக.
So, properly, how it starts with small fire, smoke, then they have to very quickly catch that using the hay, the cotton and all the other things, and then they transfer it to the main one. That's called Arani Manthan. So, a lot of learnings from this Arani Manthan. See, the lower Arani has to be facing up. and the upper Arani has to be facing down. If the opposite we do, Agni Manthan, Arani Manthan cannot happen. What does that mean? The mind today of ours, this mind, this Arani is ulta. It is seeking happiness in the world outside. It has to turn up towards this. That is the first point. This is already facing us. This lower Arani only is going down. That has to turn. First point. Meaning extrovertedness we have to curb, turn towards that. 1. 2, if you saw in that, one person was holding that upper one tightly, the other person was holding with the leg the lower one. Otherwise, the churning won't happen, it will slip. So this body, mind, intellect, this is the lower Arani, that has to be held very steady. If we can't hold that steady, we can't do Arani Manthan. So the body must be steady, the mind must be equanimous, intellect must then contemplate on that self. That is Arani Manthan. If this body, mind, intellect, body is very restless, every few seconds it keeps moving, then what happens? The attention of the mind can't turn towards that, it will go towards this body. That's why when we do meditation, what do we tell ourselves? For the next 20 minutes, I am steady and still. Why 2 words, steady and still? One is steady at the base. Other is still at the top. Achalam sthiraha. Otherwise, what people do in meditation? They swing. The top part will swing. Or this leg they will keep shaking. Then the attention will go there. So body must be steady, mind must be equanimous, not turbulent. Then this intellect can contemplate on the self. The self here is indicated as pranavam. Pranavam cha uttara aranim. So Om is the upper arani. This process of steady contemplation is the Jnana Nirmathana. So, the word Nirmathana, we can interpret in 2 ways. One is that if I don't have clarity, I have lots of doubts, then the process of reflection also is called Nirmathan. If I have clarity, then the process of Nididhyasan, contemplation, is called Nirmathan. Jnana Nirmathana. And we already saw what is the step in contemplation. Detach from the lower, attach to the higher. Jnana Nirmathana Abhyasat. Abhyasa has to be done. You see how much time they took, na? It takes quite some time to do that Arani Manthan. It doesn't, matchbox itself today people have to struggle. 5 times they will do this, that, then one little fire will come. Similar. Pot, yeah. So even in that Dahi Mathana it is like that. One has to hold that pot. Otherwise that it will start slipping away. So this abhyasa is very important. Steady practice. Consistency will increase intensity. Then this fire will come. Suddenly we do 1 hour meditation one day and then 5 days we don't do. Then another day again we get up and we again start doing some half an hour. Suppose that they did here, what would happen? Little bit they churn, then say thak gaya. After some time, chalo wapas thoda aur, abhi nahi aa raha hai. Again after some time, the fire will not come only. And then we complain, I think the process is not effective, the fire is not coming. I think this mantra is not working, this technique is not working. It takes some time, no? And what are we attempting? The destruction of avidya. Anadi mayaya suptaha yada jiva prabudhyate. Anadi kal we have been asleep, living in this identification of BMI. Suddenly how the jnana will come? And people conduct meditation courses also. 7 days course to enlightenment. 7 दिन में enlightenment. Wow. How it is possible? 7 days में enlightenment. Tuning only requires so much time. So abhyasa, continuously one has to do. You know, the word abhyasa is very nice. As means to throw. Sannyasa, as, sannyasa also has the word as. As means to throw, to drop, let go. In this context, what is abhyasa? Generally, abhyas means practice. But here, what is the practice? To throw away this false identification. I am not the BMI. That's a practice. Single pointedly, I have to suggest I am not the BMI and suggest I am the self. Continuously, one has to keep on doing that. Jnana nirmatan abhyasat. Then what will happen? The fire will come. Where was that fire? Fire was in the wood. Where was it in the wood? In the center of the wood. One by one. It is hidden and everywhere. That's what majority are saying. It is hidden and everywhere. This side is saying it is in the center. This side is saying it is hidden and everywhere. In the bottom, fire is in the bottom. Throughout the wood. Throughout the wood.
That was also, so it was anti-clockwise and clockwise. The movement was clockwise, but the picture was anti-clockwise and clockwise.
No, the point is valid. The fire is everywhere, but does the entire thing catch fire? Where does the fire come? In that lower arani it will come. Where the friction is happening properly, there it will come. So fire pervades the wood everywhere, but it manifests in that lower arani. Same way, Brahman pervades everywhere. This whole body is pervaded, mind is pervaded, everything is pervaded by Brahman. But it will be realized where? In our heart, as the true self. Does the fire come in the upper arani? No. It comes in the lower arani. In the mind and intellect, which get harmonized. What was said earlier, no? Shraddha, Bhakti, Dhyana, Yogad, Avaihi. So, Shraddha here, Bhakti here, both these come together. This combined instrument is called the heart. There we come to realize, I am Brahman. The knowledge, the fire represents Jnana. The knowledge. That fire, when it rises, what does that small fire do? That spark of that fire, if we catch it, it can burn the entire stack of hay or wood or whatever is kept there, twigs, everything. That's why in the Gita it is said, Jnanagni sarva karmani bhasmasat kurute Arjuna. The spark of fire can burn away the entire haystack of karmas collected in many, many lives. That is this beautiful analogy. So this pasham, what this will burn? It will burn the bondage. How is bondage felt by us? Through ignorance, selfish desires and selfish actions. Avidya, kama, karma. That is the bondage. Technically, bondage is that. Our heart has these 3 knots. So these knots of the heart, they bind. Avidya, kama, karma. So where is avidya? In the intellect. I don't know is in the intellect. So where will the knowledge arise? In the intellect. That knowledge which arises in the intellect destroys the ignorance in the intellect. Self is always there. That is our true self. Self never became ignorant, that self has to become realized. This identification was the problem. That identification is burnt through the steady process of nididhyasan. Jnana nirmathana abhyasat pasham dahati, burns away. You did the ghavan today morning. When something is burnt, what happens? Smoke, okay. What does it turn into? It becomes ash. Anything you burn, it will become ash, no? That ash, can you make it into that thing again? It is not possible. The beauty of that destruction with fire is that. So this Jnana Agni will destroy this bandhan in such a way that one will again not fall back into avidya that I am this jiva. Burnt, finished. That ash which is obtained after burning everything, that ash becomes, that which has become bhasma, when we apply, it becomes vibhuti. It is a bhasma outside, but when we apply on ourselves, it becomes vibhuti. Bhagavan Shiva applies vibhuti full. Bhasmodhulita vigraha. Bhasma arti is done for Bhagavan Shiva. Ujjain, Mahakal, Bhasma arti. Means what? This bondage is burnt, completely burnt. It will not come back again. Pasham dahati, finished. And the Jivan Mukta then lives in this world as a vibhuti. The glory of the Supreme Self it is. That person is called Pandit. Who is Pandit? Oh, Swamiji, one who has the choti, one who puts namam, and who does puja part, ritual, who has a janeu. Panditji. People look at us also sometimes and call Panditji. They don't know what to call us. That is very strange. Orange clothes are there. This country has the tradition that orange is connected to sannyas. Still they will call Maharajji, Panditji, Guruji. Are Swamiji bolo na, Swami bolo. But except Swami, everything else they will say. Pandit, Guru, whatever. Technically, who is a Pandit? One who knows the self is a Pandit. Panda Atma Vishaya Buddhi Yasya Asti Sa Panditaha. Not somebody who is just doing a ritual. One who has done this Arani Manthan, destroyed the Bandhan, and Atma Jnana has risen in that person is actually called Pandit. Pasham Dahati Panditaha. This mantra is very, very beautiful mantra. And this mantra we find also in the Shvetashvatara Upanishad, chapter 1, mantra 14. Similar mantra, just little words are different, but exactly same meaning. Swadeham kritva pranavam chottaranim dhyana nirmathanabhyasa devam pashyet nigudhavat. That's the mantra of Shvetashvatara. It is not in your commentary, don't search. Shvetashvatara Upanishad. This is Kaivalya Upanishad. I am just quoting from there. 1.14. Swadeham aranim kritva. There it is said Swadeham aranim. Make your body as the arani. Body means this only, BMI. What we just saw. Atmanam, what is said here, there it is said Swadeham. It means the same. Pranavam cha uttararanim. And Pranava, Omkar, is the upper arani. Now this Pranava, what is the meaning of Pranava? That which pervades everything is called Pranava. Pranava. That which pervades everything. What pervades everything? Consciousness. Also, so what is the Jnana Mathana one has to do? I am not this BMI, I am that Om. If one is not able to contemplate steadily on pranava as one's own self, how is pranava one's own self? A, U and Ma. They represent the waking ego, deep dream ego, deep sleep ego. And the silence between the two Om is Amatra, that represents Brahman. So when we chant Om, with Om we are indicating waker, dreamer, deep sleeper. But when we transcend that identification, then we realize Brahman. So we are that Brahman, which is silence. Before the sound there is silence, after the sound also there is silence, in the sound also there is silence. Silence is the common substratum. Same way Brahman is the common substratum. Omkar actually is to indicate that. That I am that pure consciousness. So one has to contemplate. I am that consciousness. I am not the waker, dreamer, deep sleeper. I am not the body, mind, intellect. Suppose one is not able to do that, then do japa of Omkar. At least do japa of Omkar and make the mind single pointed and pure. Then one will be able to contemplate. So that is called Pranava Upasana. I told you, this Upanishad gives all the three. Sagun Sakar, Sagun Nirakar, Nirgun Nirakar, all the three. Nirgun Nirakar we saw earlier. Achintyam Avyaktam Anantarupam, that is Nirgun Nirakar. Sagun Nirakar, Uma Sahayam Parameshwaram Prabhum Trilochanam Neelakantham Prashantam, Sagun Sakar. This Pranavam Cha Uttararanim is Sagun Nirakar. Omkar does not have a form actually. Some people have given it a form and then we want a form, so we create shlokas also after that. But in Veda there is no form of Omkar. It is Shabda Upasana, Nada Upasana. So all the three Upanishad, all the three forms of Upasana are given in this Upanishad. So that's what Shvetashvatara says, Pranavamcha Uttara Aranim. Dhyana Nirmathana Abhyasat. Here it is Jnana Nirmathana Abhyasat. So Jnana and Dhyana in the highest sense mean the same. Dhyan is not a process. Dhyan is the state of realization. And Jnana also is that. So Jnana and Dhyan, same. Here it is said Pasham Dahati Panditaha. There it is said Devam Pashyet Nigudhavat. They also are the same. When bondage is destroyed, then we realize the Deva. Deva means that which shines, it illumines. So this consciousness is called Deva. So if bondage is destroyed, we realize I am that Deva. And that Deva was till now where? Nigudha. It was hidden in the heart. I realize when bondage of the heart is destroyed, I realize that Deva in my own heart. So that is this beautiful mantra. Two main takeaways of this mantra are God is in my own heart as the self. He is not somewhere outside. Bhagwan is there outside also, but where will Bhagwan will be experienced? In the heart only. The sense of aham is here. Even if darshan of Bhagwan happens outside, ultimately that darshan will lead us to the self within. So one meaning is that the main learning from this mantra is this, that Bhagwan or consciousness is in our own heart as the self. And second is the process of sadhana we have to do. So that which is unmanifest will become my direct, immediate experience, aparoksha anubhuti. Today we know ourselves only through some medium. Through the body I think I am tall, handsome, dark, young, old, fat, whatever. Through the mind I am happy, I am sad, I am angry. Through the intellect I am successful, I am a failure, I am a Democrat, I am an atheist, I am a capitalist, whatever. But without this I don't know who I am. So we call this as a mediate experience, where there is a medium. Body, mind, intellect is the medium through which I know about myself. Immediate experience is called aparoksha anubhuti. Direct experience it is, without this medium. Through the process of continuous sadhana, we wake up, this PFT wakes up to realize I am Om. Immediate experience. Nothing in between. Today this is in between. Realize the truth. Immediate experience. So this is now, having said, so similar analogies are there. Like she said, the churning of the butter. So this milk, where is the butter in the milk? Everywhere. In process of churning, it will manifest. So Shvetashvatara Upanishad gives these two other analogies also after this. Oil in the sesame seed, till oil. So how one extracts oil from that sesame seed, or this butter from the milk, and fire from the wood.
Just one clarification I want. One of my students asked me the question, I don't know whether I gave the right answer. You said the knowledge of the Atma manifests in the intellect after doing the Jnana and Mata. Gurudev writes in page 24, at such moments when the individual is no more functioning through his matter equipments, at a time when one is neither perceiving, nor feeling, nor thinking, his individuality melts in the experience of the universal eternal reality. The knowledge is occurring in the intellect.
Correct.
How is the transcendence of the intellect?
It is the other way, no? First the transcendence happens, then the knowledge becomes very clear to the intellect. Till then it is only informative knowledge. When the steady contemplation happens, then the person experiences that yes, beyond the BMI, I am that. That aparoksha anubhuti then gives rise to intellectual information, intellectual conviction that I am that now. There is no doubt. What we saw earlier as the intuition, no? That intuitive knowledge, where will it rise? It will rise in this combined head and heart only. But that is not what is rising in the moment of realization. When one has transcended that. In that state, there is nothing. No buddhi, no mana, nothing. No experiencer, no experienced. Only Brahman, one. That will come ahead, it will come. That state, when one experiences, the vritti jnana will happen. That is akhandakara vritti which we learn. That arises in the buddhi only, no? Where it will not arise anywhere else. So for the Jivan Mukta, this akhandakara vritti will arise in the buddhi, and that is where it will remain throughout. See, every other vritti will be replaced by the other vrittis. Akhandakara vritti will not be replaced by any other vritti. It remains as it is there, uncontradicted by any other thought. That is the side effect of realization, or the, what we call it, consequence of realization. That akhandakara vritti will rise in the buddhi. And that vritti destroys the ajnana vritti. So that's how the knowledge destroys the ignorance in the intellect. Initially, conviction is required through manan. That conviction comes, intellectual conviction. Then one does contemplation. Contemplation, when one has already purified the mind, intellect, contemplation happens. Transcendence of ego happens. Experience. The consequence of that, there will be the akhandakara vritti which will destroy this. Don't worry about akhandakara vritti. Okay, it's very simple. It is intuitive awareness of the self which remains throughout. Till that Jivan Mukta's body drops, it will remain in the buddhi. Jivan Mukta anyway is realized the self. As a proof of that, or as a consequence of that, it will remain in the buddhi. Because as long as the equipment is there, the vritti is there. Jivan Mukta knows that this is only akhandakara vritti. I am that. So, that is called Pasham Dahati Panditaha. Now, these two aranis which are given here, the Upanishad mantra furthers, the further Upanishad mantras from mantra number 12 to 14, they describe the lower Arani. Because Upanishads have to make us realize. As I said, Upanishad goes from the subtlest to the simplest. So for some people, if they cannot understand, this is now further elaboration. Look at how many levels. First level was Shraddha Bhakti Dhyana Yoga Davaihi, finished. Second level was Sannyasa Yoga Dhyataya Shuddha Sattvaha Te Brahma Lokeshu Paranta Kale Paramritat Parimuchyanti Sarve. The second type of seeker will realize with that. Still, if somebody didn't realize, then further explanation is given till this point. Atmanam aranim kritva pranavam cha uttararanim jnana nirmathanabhyasat pasham dahati pandita. Still somebody did not get, then okay, what is the lower arani? So the analysis of the jiva will be done now. Lower arani is the jiva. So who is the jiva? Because see, before we come to Vedanta, we don't even know about the jiva. Forget Brahman. Who knows about jiva also before we come to Vedanta? Because they don't teach in the school, family doesn't teach, society doesn't teach. Mind and intellect are two things, do we know, before we come to Vedanta? We don't know only. Deep sleep, there is one state. We don't know. So many things about our personality only we don't know. So Upanishad has to dissect waker, dreamer, deep sleeper. These are the three states. Who is the ego? What is consciousness? All that. So mantra 12 to 14 will now explain the lower arani. Then 14 and 15 will also explain the upper arani. How, Swamiji? One mantra 14 is common. So second half of 14 will also describe upper arani and 15. So 12 to 14 lower arani, 14 and 15 upper arani, and 16 is the oneness of the Jiva and Brahma. The Mahavakya of Kaivalya Upanishad comes in mantra 16. So let us see now. Mantra number 12. Sa eva maya parimohitatma shariramastaya karoti sarvam Striyannapanadi vichitra bhogaihi Sa eva jagrat paritriptimeti Sa eva means that only. What is it that only suddenly now? That consciousness which was indicated by Achintyam Avyaktam Ananta Rupam, that consciousness only, because of its own power of Maya, Maya Parimohita Atma, that consciousness which was pure Brahman, which is infinite consciousness without any duality, with the power of Brahman, with the power of Maya, as though has got deluded because of its own power of Maya. Please remember, as though, okay, don't think that actually this has happened, that Brahman has become deluded. Sa eva maya parimohita atma. As though deluded and has become the jiva. So the infinite forgot itself, identified with this one BMI and became the jiva. Who is this jiva? Om reflecting in the BMI is the jiva. This vasana onwards down, the entire realm is the realm of Maya. Expression of Maya is that. Technically, what is Maya? Yama Samaya. What is not but appears to be is Maya. Like the people who saw white colored people in the night in the forest walk. They are not there, but they appear to be there. That is called Maya. What is not there but which appears. So, two powers of Maya are Avarana Shakti, Vikshepa Shakti. So, the truth is veiled on one hand and the same truth appears as something else. The rope is veiled on one hand, the snake appears. That's the power of Maya. Same way, the truth, I am Brahman, is veiled and then I am the Jiva is projected. So, Avarana Shakti, Vikshepa Shakti. So, Brahman as though forgot himself and because of its own Maya got deluded, and Shariram Asthaya. Now that infinite consciousness which has no form, Achintyam was said, no? Avyaktam, Ananta Rupam, that which Ananta Rupam gets identified with one BMI, Shariram Asthaya. Please remember, Sharira word does not mean only body in Vedanta. Sharira means all the three bodies. Which are the three? Gross body, subtle body, causal body. All the three. So identified with this BMI, that infinite consciousness has become finite. Shariram asthaya karoti sarvam. Now that this jiva has, now that infinite has become this finite jiva, akarta has become karta. That which is amar has become martya. Exact opposite. Look at that. How Maya functions. Infinite appears as finite, immortal appears as mortal, non-doer appears as the doer. That which is of the swarup of knowledge appears as ignorant. Terrific is this Maya. Shariram asthaya karoti sarvam, does everything. And what is the purpose of doing all this karma? From morning to evening, going on, working. No time for satsang, Swamiji, no time to eat also, no time to sleep also. But I am working. What it is called? Workaholic. What are you working for? Stri anna panadi vichitra bhogaihi. Because I am doing work for enjoyment. I want to be successful. I want to enjoy. Kurute karma bhogaya karma kartum cha bhunjate. We do lots of action to enjoy, and to enjoy we do more actions, which are also to enjoy more, and to enjoy more actions. It keeps going round. Action, enjoy, action, repeat. Full time. In what state? Jagrat. In the waking state. In Bengali they call it baking state. It is correct. This waking state is baking state only. We are getting baked here, but still we don't get off that fire. How funny, no, it is. If we touch fire, it is hot. Immediately our hand will move away. Here, to happily we are getting baked, roasted, deep roasted, whatever, but still one is going on and on in this baking state. The Jagrad Avastha. Stri Annapana means, that's an idiomatic phrase. Food, water, sense enjoyments. Sorry. And Vichitra Bhogaihi. And a combination of all this. Vichitra things people make. And that is supposed to be creativity, innovation, something modern, something new. What? Topi dosa. Earlier you give dosa flat, now you make a topi and give. Something one has to create, no? Earlier dosa was with bhaji, now they put everything inside that dosa. Szechuan dosa, this dosa, that dosa, pata nahi kya. People will, after, I think, few years will not know what is dosa. Original dosa will lose its identity. Saeva Maya Parimohit Atma. Original dosa got completely veiled and new dosa got projected. Vichitra Bhoga, what all one keeps creating in this samsara. Stri Anna Panadi Vichitra Bhogaihi. Any combination, weird combinations people will make. And after making all the weird combinations, they will go to dietitian who will say, no, you should not make all these combinations. Nice, one will eat that Sunday ice cream and faluda and this and that, and then go to Ayurvedic, treatment. There they will say, don't ever mix milk and fruit, okay? It is poison. Hare Ram, nicely we ate that. But don't mix milk and fruit. So all Vichitra Bhoga one will do, then the Sharira will go into Roga, and then one has to go to some therapy and then get treated, and then all that the Jiva keeps doing waking state. In that only time goes, no? Where is the time to realize Brahman? Do so much of work, exhaust oneself, and then go to some place to relax and rejuvenate, and then again go and exhaust oneself, again rejuvenate. That's all, no? Work hard, so hard, what? So that we can buy a nice place, somewhere, retreat. I can go and have a chilling view with all the lakes and mountains, and I can just chill there. Other person said, why don't you chill now only? Why are you becoming so workaholic? But no, the Jiva does. So that supreme infinite consciousness, because of Maya, forgets oneself, becomes the Jiva, and goes through this waking state. So this is the first state, waking. Stri anna panadi vichitra bhogaihi saeva jagrat paritriptimeti. Now the mantra is very simple here, but we should remember that this mantra indicates karma bandhan. Because karoti sarvam, this karta he has become, that akarta has become karta now. And now that karta, if it is the person has become karta, then that person only is the bhokta. So every karma I am doing, I am generating seeds for more and more future births, every karma in this waking state. Why? Because there is a strong sense of identification. Shariram asthaya. This buddhi has this doership in the waking state. In dream it does not have, so we don't create karmas in dream. In deep sleep we don't create karma, but in waking state we create karma. So every waking state becomes the cause for many other waking states. Now this infinite consciousness which was unborn, unchanging, undying, now that infinite consciousness is stuck in what? Punarapi jananam, punarapi maranam, punarapi janani jathare shayanam. Stuck. And the thing is that Jiva is enjoying it also. Forgot one's true self and one is enjoying. Think about that. A multi-billionaire forgets that he is multi-billionaire and he revels in poverty. And if somebody tells, I will help you to come out of it, you are a billionaire, what a fool you are, be practical. I am poor only. This is the reality. The Guru is saying to us, Arey, you are Akhanda Ananda Swarup. That is all impractical. Temporary pleasure is better. Arey, that multi-billionaire is saying, no, poverty is better. We are saying that only, no, right now. Vedanta is telling us we are Ananda Swarupa, but no, you don't know, Swamiji, I am Dukkha Swarupa only, so many dukkhas I have, this person doesn't love me, that person doesn't care for me, this success I did not get, this, that, go on crying. But what is our nature? Ananda Swarup, but we have become this now. Just look at the tragedy of that. The infinite has become this because of what? Nothing tangible, no real cause. It's only Maya. In one way it is good, the cause is not real, so immediately one can end it. Delusion can be ended very fast. How? Where you saw that white people, if you put the torch, immediately you see there is no person there. How much time it takes to put the torch? Quickly one can put. Bas. But important thing is I must be willing for that. That is all. That willingness only takes so much time because we are happily reveling in this. We don't want to realize that, no, that willingness is not there. What earlier we saw, no, that sannyasa yoga and all that. Na karmana na prajaya na dhanena tyage naike. That one tyaga has to be done, that I am not the BMI. That tyaga willingness is not there. I am this only. So the strengthening of the bandhan keeps happening in the waking state. And in the entire 84 lakh species of this creation, only species which can realize the truth is human being. Consciously we can realize the truth. In that human being also, only in waking state I can do sadhana. But in the waking state I keep on craving for stri anna pana vichitra bhoga. And then getting exhausted with karma, getting exhausted with bhoga, I go to sleep. So hardly any time for sadhana is there. So that infinite consciousness now becomes what? Such a pathetic jiva. That is our Jagrat Avastha. Sa eva Jagrat Paritripti Meti. And in this Jagrat Avastha, one reaches full gratification, Paritriptim. One thinks that I will get maximum gratification by maximum sense enjoyment, Paritripti Meti. Now, this is the waking state. From waking state, one goes into dream state. See the next one. One point to understand, don't forget, what is written here is Sa Eva. Don't forget that Sa Eva. Who is the waker? Consciousness identified with the BMI, all the three, is the PFT, waker. Don't forget that. We generally go into waking state and description of that, but we forget it is consciousness who is the waker. Forgetting itself, consciousness has become the waker. Sa eva. Now that consciousness only identifies with the mind, only mind. In the dream state, buddhis, bodies we are not aware of, buddhi is not active, only this mind is active. Swapne sajiva sukha dukkha bhokta swamayaya kalpita jiva loke sushupti kale sakale viline tamo vibhuta sukha rupameti. So, Swapnavastha, Swapne, Sa Jivaha. So, again the connection is Sa. Earlier that what was said, Sa Eva, the same Jiva. Meaning, that same consciousness which became the waker, now that consciousness becomes the dreamer. Swapne, Sa Jivaha. Sukha Dukkha Bhokta. See, in the waking state it was said, Karoti and Vichitra Bhogahi. So Karta and Bhokta both is there in waking state. In dream state, there is no Karta, only Bhoga. That's why in the waking state also we want like that. Without doing anything, we want to enjoy. Minimum work, maximum pay we want. Enjoyment. And the fellow who is doing maximum work, squeeze that fellow out completely so that I can enjoy maximum. That's what happening in the world, no? Hard work, hard earned money of the small time depositors, they put in the bank so much. They work so hard and put in the bank. And these fellows who are doing scam, what do? Take and run away out of the country. There's a hard work of somebody and you are enjoying. Look at that stupid mindset. That's how people are. There's a samsara goes on. So in that dream, everybody is only bhokta, no karta, because buddhi is not active. What happens in the dream state? People are more interested in dream state actually than waking state. They go on doing dream analysis. What is my dream telling me? See, it has some relevance. I don't want to ridicule it or condemn it. It has some relevance. But why don't you focus more on the waking state? Baba, do Purushartha in the waking state. You will realize what does this dream mean? And that person will sit and give some interpretation also. Come to Vedanta, Vedanta says waking also is equal to dream only. Get up now. This waking dream sleep, deep sleep is one level. This is the real state to be awakened to. This is all delusion only. In the delusion, second delusion which is there, that is dream, that I am analyzing to know how my waking state will be. Some extent it will give some signs, no doubt, because subconscious mind is more active in the dream state. And that is what is prompting in the waking also. So there is no doubt that there is a connection. But if I want mukti, then I don't need to do any of that. If I want something else, then okay, go ahead and do that. But if I want mukti, then I have to go beyond karta and bhokta. So what happens in dream? All the impressions collected of the waking of this life, plus whatever impressions I've collected in earlier lives which are in my subconscious mind, they all get combined and the mind projects. Swamayaya kalpita jiva loke. By its own maya. So Swamayaya kalpita jiva loke means what? The waker, using the power of dreaming, forgets himself, assumes the identity of a dreamer, projects the dream world. Swamayaya kalpita jiva loke. As long as I am conscious of my waking identity, I will never be able to dream. I have to let go of the waking identity to some extent at least. In proper full dream, the full waking identity gets eclipsed. The waker is lying on the bed. Nothing has happened. One fellow was like that. He was lying on the bed, dreaming. And what he dreamt? He became a sannyasi. And this fellow woke up in a shock, saying, my God, I become a sannyasi. I am dry. I have no enjoyment, no wife, no children, no house, no money, nothing, gone. He got up and then he saw all children, money, everything is there. Some of you may get that dream because you're having orange clothes. After you go back home, when you give orange clothes here and you go back, I became sannyasi, I went to Siddhbari, अब क्या हो गया मुझे? Then you look at things around, नहीं सब कुछ यही है, मेरे बाल बच्चे सब कुछ यही हैं, I am nice samsari, बच गया भाई. What did you learn and come? You are Brahman, but what is the tripti coming? I am a samsari, बच गया भाई, सन्यासी नहीं बनने का है मुझे. Happily one is lying on the bed as a grahasthi only, but one dreamt one is a sannyasi and then got very hassled. So if I keep remembering I am a grahasthi, I will never be able to go into dream state. So swamayaya kalpita jiva loke. One forgets oneself. Those two powers, no, what we spoke earlier, maya, wheeling power, projecting power. What happens in the total level happens even in the individual level. Ishvara, Brahman forgetting himself as though becomes the jiva. Same way jiva forgetting himself as the waker becomes the dreamer. And no logic is there in the dream. Anything will get mixed up. Anything. Yesterday one dog had bit Monaji. And then yesterday we saw the performance here of Dan and Sock. And then everybody was enjoying. And then today we had this Gayatri Havan, and then we had Gulab Jambu, all that, And in the dream, one will dream like that, that Sock has bit Dan, and Dan is eating Gulab Jambu, and both of them entered into the Gayatri Havan. Puss. Any combination, anything can happen. Because logic is not there. But there is some reasoning behind that as far as the process is concerned, that the strong impressions which are there, they will manifest. And they will manifest in a recurring way. Dream is a mechanism to empty the mind, subconscious mind. And lucky that dream is there, otherwise we will all go mad. See, Bhagavan makes a person forcefully go to sleep. Because knowing this jiva how this waking state was described, no? Karoti sarvam, goes on doing everything. It doesn't sleep only, doesn't want to sleep. So Bhagwan makes that person tired after a point and has to dream, and in that dream some hallucination has to come, some projection has to come. Then one is ready for the next day. If you have not slept and dreamt enough in the night, then like yesterday in the 9:30 class, all of you are hallucinating like that, it happens. Bhagwan only makes it happen. Because otherwise, nothing will go inside after some time. So dream has its purpose. Impressions will come out. Some of the very weak impressions which are there, weak desires which are there, they will come and they will just exhaust and go. They don't need a physical manifestation. So all that happens in the dream. But from Vedanta standpoint, what it is, that consciousness only, without identification with the body and the intellect, with this mind goes on projecting. Swamayaya kalpita jiva loke. And each person's dream is different. Lucky if the dream of people gets combined, baap re baap. Already in one dream there is confusion. Enough. Look at the chaos in the waking state only, no? When people talk to each other, meet each other, how much friction happens. Now imagine their dreams colliding with each other. Pathetic it will be. So each one, Jiva Loke, each one projects their own dream world. Now, from that dream world, what happens? The Jiva goes into deep sleep. Sushupti Kale, in the time of deep sleep, Sakale Viline, even this mind becomes dormant. In the waking state, all the three were there, BMI. In the dream state, B and I became dormant. Only mind was working. In deep sleep state, that mind also becomes dormant. Sakale Viline. Sushupti Kale Sakale Viline. Now somebody says, but Swamiji, how do we remember the dream? Something must be active. Then only we remember, how do we remember the deep sleep? See, Mana Buddhi Chitta Ahankar, 4, no? In that Chitta remains to record the absence of everything. But this Ahankar has become dormant. So in the dream state when I am there, in the deep sleep when I am there, I don't know I am in deep sleep. Man also is not active. Buddhi also is not active. Ahankar also not active. Chitta does only the job of recording. So there is no I. The recollection of that happens when we wake up. So technically if you go, then one says Chitta remains, but it is as good as nothing there, because Ahankar, which knows everything, which has the bhav of I am the Karta, is dormant. The equipment with which it knows also is dormant. Body, mind, intellect, all dormant. So Sakale Virine, deep sleep. Then what is in that state? Tamobhibhutaha. Covered with ignorance. Complete ignorance. Sukha Rupa Meti, and one is in a state of happiness in that bliss, in that deep sleep. Happiness in deep sleep? See, happiness of deep sleep is not the happiness as we experience of the enjoyment of sense pleasures in the waking state. It is absence of the jiva, bhav, absence of the ego, absence of the troublemaker. And it is closest to the self. But ignorance is one veil. So the absence of agitations and being close to Ananda Swarup, one experiences a certain amount of bliss. That is called Sukha Rupam. If you see Gurudev's commentary in the second last para of this mantra, Gurudev says that however, the non-apprehension of reality, tamas, cannot yield any quota of positive sorrow, nor can it give even an iota of joy. It is a negative state of impotent neutrality. Since the sorrow-breeding plurality of the waking and the dream condition is not there to persecute the deep sleeper, in his empirical experience, he has to accept his sleep as a condition of bliss. It's not the bliss of Atma, it is not the sorrow of the waking and dream, or the joy of the waking and dream, the pleasures. The absence of those, that neutral state is this deep sleep. And interesting thing is, our waking state can be different from each other, our dream state can be different from each other. Deep sleep is same for all. A king also will have same deep sleep, and a beggar also will have same deep sleep. So now this is the description of the three states of the awareness. Now please remember, who has become the dreamer, waker, deep sleeper? That consciousness only. That we should never forget. Technical words are there to indicate that ego. Waking ego is called Vishwa. Dream ego is called Taijasa. Deep sleep ego is called Prajna. Oh Swamiji, just now you said ego is dormant, now you are saying deep sleep ego. That's the name. In the deep sleep we don't know we are the Taijasa, Prajna. When we get up, because the word Prajna means Prakarshena Agnya, who is ignorant completely. When we wake up, then we realize I slept like a log. So that inference we draw. So the three, waker, dreamer, deep sleeper, are nothing but consciousness only. And it is also strange that once the consciousness identifies with the finite, it can take different identities. Like the actor takes so many roles, consciousness also takes up different identities. So many times what happens, the waking entity is not the same entity in the dream. One can take up any identity in the dream. One can become animal, plant, bird, anything. And in deep sleep, neither of these two identities are there. So these three are the states. Now that infinite consciousness, having become the jiva, now is going through these three states. Now what does he say? Very interesting question comes now. What makes a person come out of deep sleep? See the 14th mantra. Punascha janmantara karma yogat sa eva jiva swapiti prabuddhaha puratraye kridati yascha jivaha tatastu jatam sakalam vichitram adharamanandamakhanda-bodham yasmin layam yati puratrayam cha. Punascha. So from waking one came to dream, from dream one came to deep sleep. That's the order in which the mantra explained to us. Now punaha means again from deep sleep, this jiva comes out. What makes the jiva come out? Janmantara karma yogat. Oh, many lives of karma yoga makes the jiva come out? No, it's not karma yoga as selfless work. Yogat here means united with, does not mean karma yoga as selfless work. The cause of the person coming out of deep sleep is the samskara of karma of this life and many lives put together. What makes me come out of that deep sleep is some karma only. No, Swamiji, I don't believe. You can experience directly. Sunday morning, you will experience it. You have a flight to catch. Previous night only the mind will start. I have to wake up. I have a flight to catch. Luckily, some of your flights are at 9:20 in the morning. Suppose you have an early morning flight, like 6 o'clock flight, then reporting 5 o'clock. So leave from the house at 4 o'clock. So wake up at 3 o'clock. So that when one goes to sleep, one has put the seed in the mind. No, Swami, I don't put any seed, I put alarm. You may put alarm, but that seed is in the head, na, that I have to wake up. For that only you put the alarm. You wake up. And sometimes without that alarm also, sometimes one just wakes up. Because I have flight to catch, I can't miss the flight. For meditation, one doesn't wake up like that. But for flight, one will wake up. Brahma Muhurat, get up to meditate. Not possible, Swamiji, we have to be practical. Flight we have to catch. That is a practical because very cheap flight. 4 o'clock early morning flight is the cheapest flight. So I can wake up. So what makes me wake up? Some karma only. Some desire I have, something to achieve, some karma to finish. Punascha jiva janmantara karma yogat. Some work I have to do, some success I have to achieve, some accomplishment, something is there in our mind, which is what makes us come out of sleep. What does not prevent me, what prevents me from going into sleep itself is the cause for me to come out of sleep. Why people are not able to sleep? Because the mind is very active. Why the mind is active? Some desire, some emotion, some attachment, that is what makes the mind active. So that only becomes the cause. The karma which we have done in the waking, dream, etc., in the deep sleep, the mind goes into seed state. Everything becomes unmanifest. And then how from the seed the whole tree manifests, in the same way, from the dream one comes into waking, from the deep sleep one comes to dream and waking. Or jumps from deep sleep to waking. Sometimes the sannyasi dreams I become a grahasti and then from deep sleep suddenly comes out, Arey, did I become a grahasti? No. My kamandalu, everything is there as it is, no problem. You like that? So the point is, what makes us come out is the karma. So this jiva bound by karma goes through this. Saeva jiva swapiti prabuddha. So this same jiva who dreamt now has woken up. From the deep sleep came into swapiti and prabuddha. Indicating from deep sleep one came to dream and then waking state. In waking state one will do again some work. Again one will get exhausted. Again go into dream. Again go into deep sleep. Puratraye kridati yascha jivaha. So this jiva plays in these 3 cities. Same entity is playing in 3 cities. But in 1 city at one time. Not in 2 cities at one time. You came from Mumbai to Delhi, Delhi to Dharamsala, Sidhbari. These are 3 cities. At any one point in time, where were you? Only in one. No, Swamiji, at one point I was between 2 cities, hanging in the air. Between waking and dream also there are states which happen. Many people experience that, dreaming while awake. They have cultivated that art of dreaming while awake. Or between dream and deep sleep, between deep sleep and waking. So in between states also are possible. But the point is this jiva goes round and round in these 3. Puratraye kridati yascha jivaha. And this jiva has forgotten that I am actually that Brahman. Now going through these 3 waking, dream, deep sleep state, this jiva suddenly asks question, who is God, which God, who created this world, from where did this world come? And the Upanishad is saying, hello, the world came from you only. One Zen master told that to the disciple. The disciple went and asked, from where did the creation come? The Zen master said, from where this question came, no? From their creation came. Superb answer. Correct answer it is. What is the Upanishad mantra saying here? It is saying the same thing. Tatastu jatam sakalam vichitram. From that jiva only this entire world has come. Don't forget, who is that jiva? Consciousness, who is now appearing as the jiva. Don't think that from you the whole world came as the individual jiva. From you, the consciousness, this entire world came, but we have forgotten that. Tatastu jatam sakalam vichitram. Till this part is the lower Arani. The description of lower Arani is till this part. Adharam Anandam Akhanda Bodham is the upper Arani. This jiva who has forgotten itself, that its nature is what? Adharam, I am the substratum of the whole universe. Akhandam, I am unbroken. Ananda, unbroken bliss. And unbroken awareness. That is my true nature. Adharam Anandam Akhanda Bodham. Yasmin layam yati puratrayam cha. And in that, all the three states dissolve also. This whole universe we experience through the waking and dream state. It arises from that, and the waking, dream, deep sleep all go back into that only. We are that. That we forgot. So more about this we will take up in our next class. Om Purnamada Purnamidam Purnat Purnamudachyate Purnasya Purnamadaya Purnameva Vashishyate. Om Shanti Shanti Shanti. Harihi Om Shri Gurubhyo Namaha. Harihi Om.